There was a time when cruiser motorcycles followed only one formula: big engines, heavy bodies, classic styling. And while many riders loved that old-school feeling, a new generation wanted something different, something lighter, something faster, something easier to control, but still powerful enough to feel exciting. And that is exactly where the 2026 Kawasaki Vulcan S enters the story. Because this motorcycle was never designed to be an ordinary cruiser. The moment you first see it, you immediately notice the difference. The long, low stance still gives it classic cruiser presence, but the sharp body lines, the aggressive fuel tank, and the sporty frame make it feel far more modern than traditional cruisers. It almost looks like a sport bike disguised as a cruiser, and honestly, that's exactly what Kawasaki wanted. The Vulcan S was built for riders who wanted comfort without sacrificing excitement, and hidden inside this machine is the heart of a completely different animal. A 649cc parallel twin engine inspired by Kawasaki's Ninja lineup. That changes everything. Most cruisers focus heavily on low-speed, relaxed riding, but the Vulcan S feels alive the moment you twist the throttle. The acceleration feels smooth, responsive, and surprisingly aggressive for a cruiser motorcycle. At city speeds, the bike feels light and easy to maneuver. Traffic suddenly becomes less stressful. Tight corners feel natural, and unlike heavier cruisers, the Vulcan S never feels intimidating for new riders. That's one of the biggest reasons why riders around the world love this motorcycle. It gives you cruiser comfort, without the massive weight and slow handling traditional cruisers often have. The riding position also plays a huge role in this experience. Kawasaki designed the Vulcan S around comfort and customization. With the Ergo Fit system, riders can adjust the seat position, handlebars, and foot pegs to better fit their body size. That may sound simple, but it completely transforms the riding experience. Because comfort matters on long rides, a motorcycle can have all the horsepower in the world. But if the rider feels uncomfortable after 30 minutes, the experience is ruined. The Vulcan S solves that problem beautifully. The low seat height immediately builds rider confidence. Even shorter riders feel comfortable placing both feet firmly on the ground. And once moving, the motorcycle feels balanced and stable. But the real surprise comes when the road opens up. Because despite its relaxed appearance, the 2026 Vulcan S has genuine sporty personality. The parallel twin engine delivers smooth power across the RPM range, and as the revs climb higher, the motorcycle begins feeling more energetic and playful. This is where the Ninja DNA starts becoming obvious. The throttle response feels sharp, the engine sounds deeper and more aggressive, and the motorcycle starts pulling harder than most riders expect from a cruiser. That combination of comfort and sporty energy is what makes the Vulcan S so unique. It refuses to stay inside one category. It isn't fully a cruiser. It isn't fully a sport bike. It lives somewhere perfectly in between, and for many riders, that balance is exactly what they've been searching for. The suspension setup also deserves serious attention. The bike absorbs rough roads comfortably while still maintaining responsive handling through corners. That means highway rides feel smooth, but canyon roads still feel exciting. And visually, the 2026 model looks stunning at night. The LED lighting gives the motorcycle a clean, futuristic appearance. The low stretched profile creates an aggressive shadow on the road, and the exposed frame design adds mechanical beauty to the overall look. Even standing still, the Vulcan S feels modern, but what truly makes this motorcycle special is how approachable it feels. Some motorcycles try to intimidate riders. The Vulcan S does the opposite. It welcomes you. It encourages you to ride longer, farther, faster, without fear. And maybe that is why this motorcycle has become one of Kawasaki's most respected cruisers worldwide. Because it gives riders freedom without unnecessary complexity, comfort without boredom, and sporty performance without overwhelming aggression. The 2026 Kawasaki Vulcan S is proof that a cruiser motorcycle can still feel. The longer you ride the 2026 Kawasaki Vulcan S, the more you begin to understand why so many riders become attached to this machine. Because the Vulcan S does something extremely difficult. It makes riding feel effortless, and that feeling is becoming rare in today's motorcycle world. Many modern motorcycles focus only on extreme speed, massive horsepower, or aggressive racing performance. But the Vulcan S focuses on something different: connection. The connection between rider, road, and machine. The moment the engine starts, the motorcycle feels calm and refined. The parallel twin engine produces a smooth, deep tone that immediately feels welcoming instead of intimidating. At idle, the bike feels relaxed, but hidden beneath that calm personality, there is still genuine Kawasaki performance waiting to wake up. As soon as the rider twists the throttle, the Vulcan S begins revealing its sporty side. The acceleration builds smoothly and predictably. No sudden violence, No overwhelming power delivery, just controlled performance that makes every ride enjoyable. This is one of the biggest reasons why the Vulcan S works perfectly for both beginners and experienced riders. New riders appreciate how manageable the motorcycle feels. Experienced riders appreciate how refined and balanced it is. That balance is extremely hard to achieve, and Kawasaki spent years perfecting it. One of the most impressive things about the 2026 Vulcan S is how comfortable it remains during long-distance rides. Hours on the highway feel surprisingly relaxing. The seat position reduces fatigue. The handlebars feel natural. The foot peg placement keeps the rider comfortable even during extended journeys. And unlike many large cruisers, the Vulcan S never feels heavy or exhausting to control. That lightweight feeling completely changes rider confidence. Parking becomes easier. Cornering feels smoother. Low-speed riding feels stress-free, even in crowded city streets. The motorcycle remains agile and easy to manage. And when the road finally clears ahead, the Vulcan S becomes even more enjoyable. The engine begins pulling harder through the mid-range RPMs, wind starts rushing around the rider, and suddenly, this comfortable cruiser starts feeling surprisingly sporty. That dual personality is exactly what makes the Vulcan S stand out from traditional cruisers. Most cruisers focus purely on relaxed riding, but the Vulcan S still wants to play. It still wants corners. It still wants acceleration. It still wants excitement. And that sporty DNA becomes obvious in the handling. The chassis feels responsive and stable. The motorcycle leans naturally into corners without fighting the rider, and the suspension keeps the bike composed even on rough pavement. For many riders, this becomes the perfect everyday motorcycle. Comfortable enough for commuting, stylish enough for weekend rides, and exciting enough to keep every journey interesting. The braking system also adds to the overall